Alright everyone, it's time for the Occult, video 207. I say whatever I want because of magic. Ultimately, if you believe in spiritual forces that are beyond the most primitively atheistic, that is zero spirituality, religiosity is total bullshit, can't be a god, you're like not just agnostic about it, you're a hardline atheist. If you're anything other than that and you believe in these forces, and you believe that we can interact with them intelligently in any method, especially if you've got anecdotal experiences reinforcing that belief, why would you worry about like fucking being censored or even, killed for your beliefs? Ultimately, you become a bit fearless, and it is a little bit like what happens with actual zealots. Like someone who's like really into their religion, they'll haul off and do crazy shit. Sometimes, unfortunately, that's violent causes tragedy because they don't fear death or reprisal. So they're willing to blow themselves up for a god. They're willing to martyr themselves for a high priest or something. They're willing to sacrifice themselves for what they consider to be some noble spiritual cause. Falling far short of that, of course. I would say in the general sense, because of my Luciferian style beliefs, because I've come to the conclusion of that sort of framework for spirituality, in my own experience, and I don't mean devil worship, what I'm saying is like cosmic rebel, sort of in the symbolic sense, because of that, I feel a compelling need to tell my story, to say what I believe in, to try to educate others in what I believe, in a spiritual sense, and in political sense too. And to push, the ideology that I happen to believe in, which is monarchism. Not monarchism. I believe in small government and limited, I believe in the most limited forms of governance because I believe that they tend to be corrupt. I believe in limiting corporate power. I believe in limiting religious power as well. I think people should leave each other alone, live free, they should be individualistic, they should say what they want, and if they're not victimizing people, they should do what they want fundamentally, for the most part in life. I feel a compelling urge to do that. Because I have additional spiritual beliefs, because I have seen things that I consider otherworldly, or what you would consider superstitious maybe, if you're a hardline atheist, that reinforces my belief that I can do that. And that if there is ultimately any reprisal, it doesn't really matter that much. No, it doesn't matter as much to me as it does to someone who believes, hey, if you get shot in the head, you just blank out of existence. Nothing forever, bye, the fun's over. Yeah, that might, or you believe that you might go to hell. Like, if I do the wrong thing, if I say or believe the wrong thing, I'll suffer eternally. Yeah, I can understand why you'd be a little bit frightened to stretch out your mind. Because it's like you're in a cage. And you've been told, hey, yeah, there's the switch, that'll open the door, but there are lions out there. There's like lions and wildfires and tornadoes and crazy shit. Stay in your cage here with your feeding tube and your cot and stuff. You'll be safe in there. Just stay in there. Because everything outside is scary. There's nothing good out there to see, only evil. Yeah, you probably, curiosity might get a hold of you at some point, and you press the switch, and then you realize, of course, that's all a lie. So that's why I'm not religious. That's why I'm spiritual instead. I've already pressed that switch and looked out into the hallway and seen the absence of wolves and bears and tornadoes. Yeah, there's some weird shit outside there, but there's also a lot of fun to be had. I think that's a good thing. Sets me apart from the tendencies of most religious individuals. Again, not spiritual. Like, if you're just like, hey, I believe in Jesus, or I believe in Allah or something, you're probably not like that. But I mean like closed-minded, hyper-religious people. I say whatever I want and ultimately do what I want within that framework of the NAP, create no victims insofar as doing that. Because I genuinely believe that there are other things out there that I don't or possibly can understand, and because of that questioning, because of that ultimately skepticism, I'm too curious to limit myself. And I'm also too stubborn to shut up about an issue. It's like with Herbert Walker Bush, died recently. I'm sitting there ridiculing him. Because I'm looking at it and I'm saying a warmonger is dead. An embarrassment, a national disaster is dead whose son practically brought this nation to its knees. I don't care that he's dead. I'm going to crack jokes about it. People are like, well, have some reverence. The man's still, warm in his coffin. He just barely to have some respect for the family. I'm like, yeah, well, what about all the families that he fucked over? No, I'm not going to have respect for him at all. If other people are grieving because of his death, very sad, very tragic. I don't see it that way. I'm under no responsibility to do that. And they get upset. They're like, well, you could have some tact. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. If you don't like the fact that I'm going to ream the dude for dying, then fucking unsubscribe from the channel. I don't care. You should know, if some of these people are like, well, I've subscribed to you for 5-6 years. Okay, then you should know that you're not actually going to get me to shut up. Over time, I've gotten more acerbic. I've gotten more willing to say what I really feel, not less. I'm not going to go down the sellout path and say, well, if I just temper myself, if I say fuck less, if I always wear a shirt and I make sure it's presentable and not like, gothic mode or something, if I just do this, I'll get 10% more Patreon donations. Just like, fuck you, I'm never going to do that. And ultimately, part of that is because I actually literally believe in magic. Yes, in the literal sense, I believe in spiritual forces. I think it's wonderful. By the way, even if you don't, you should pretend that you do. Maybe try to convince yourself that you do. It's a more exciting life. When you think, hey, maybe there's fairies or Loch Ness monsters, like, it's just a more fun existence. Stop being a stick in the mud. Just don't victimize other people and try to force them to see religion the same way. That's about all. Peace out.